Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the TNAIW GoGo Power Rankings show. As always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts. First, to my right, he allegedly has no relation to our Impact World Champion, Steve Macklin. He's the star of the show, the one and only Burt Macklin.
Let me just say what it's not going to be a happy time in the Macklin house tonight after this top 10.
Oh, I bet. And to my left, he is the godfather of the rankings, Lucha.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys, we are currently on the road to Under Siege. This Thursday being the Go Home show to Under Siege. A lot of interesting stuff happened on this week's episode, and I'm very curious to see where Ace Austin and the Bullet Club land, considering they took the L. I want to see the consequences of that main event. Trinity made a statement, or pun intended, impact. So we gotta see. But Burt, let's start with you. Who do you think made this week's power rankings?
I would hope, if the ranking committee had any respect, that Trey Miguel would be top 3 at least. I'm just holding my breath because I don't want to get I don't want to get my feeling. I want to get let down.
And you, Lucha?
Look, like you said, we had an upset on our hands. Tag champ, actually crazy. Both tag champs went down in singles competition this week, so that's something I'm keeping my eye out on.
Same here. Me too. It definitely made for an interesting power rankings. All right. So with that being said, let's roll these power rankings. Number 10, World Champion Deonna Purrazzo. Number 9, Jonathan Gresham. Number 8, The Good Hands. Number 7, Tag Team Champions Bullet Club. Number 6, Yuya Uemura. Number 5, Tag Team Champions The Coven. Number 4, World Champion Steve Macklin. Number 3, the Motor City Machine Guns. Number 2, X Division Champion Trey Miguel. Number 1, Trinity. Oh my God. I cannot believe this rankings. Oh my God. I hope you guys are happy. You upset Lucha over here that he left. You see? He left. Who in the right mind voted Deonna number 10? She's our knockouts champion. We are in the age of the Ruchosa. I get it. I mean, she wasn't on the show, but she's still our knockouts champion. This is worse than when Trey Miguel made number 9 2 weeks in a row.
It's 3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks. My bad. Burt, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's almost like she got punished for not being on the show, which I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Because she is the world champion, that should count for something. And again, she didn't lose. And to me, losing should count more against the wrestler than not being on the show. So I don't have a lot to say, because it's just almost like I don't get it. I don't understand. I know I voted her top 3 this week myself. I know Lucha voted for around the same position, I believe. So I think maybe me and him were the only ones like carrying the torch, just because I think we're the only ones that have any sense, I guess. But I don't have anything else to say about it.
Lucha, your thoughts?
Like, how the fuck does Alabama have a bye week and they drop 9 spots? Like, make it make sense, because it don't make dollars.
I'm just speechless right now. Completely and utterly speechless. Deonna has never been that low. Even when she was a knockouts champion, she was never that low. I mean, that high.
If they're not seeing what we're seeing, I don't understand.
We have to get a closer look at this committee. Are these bunch of Melvins?
See, y'all about to make Datila shoot, and she's not the one who goes out and cuts promos. You know what I'm saying? That's me. That's Burt. She just stays in the background. You know what I'm saying? So if we have to hear from Mom, y'all done fucked up. Get him.
You're pulling out the chocolate?
Well, let's move on to number 7 and number 8, the Bullet Club, who are tag team champions and the Good Hands. The Jason Hodge getting a big win over Ace Austin. So here's the thing, though. So Jason Hodge won. Yeah, Bullet Club's at number 7, and the Good Hands is at number 8. Why is that? Lucha, you want to go first for this one?
Controversy alert. I think the Good Hands should be ranked higher than the Bullet Club because they've been on par. They've been on like the same level, like the Good Hands. I almost said Good Brothers. The Good Hands. They've been chilling at like the bottom half of the crew, and then Bullet Club be flip flopping from the top half to the middle. But the Good Hands got a dub over the Bullet Club. I don't even remember where they were last week, Bullet Club, but I know it was a pretty high rank. So for them to get that upset win, I feel like low key the Good Hands got disrespect.
Wow, that is a controversial take because I mean, the Bullet Club is our tag team champions, but I mean, they do have a point.
Yeah.
Burt, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to just disagree simply for the fact that Bullet Club earned the right to be higher just simply because they are champions and it was a non-title match. And I just will add that it took 1 week for the Good Hands for me to be off that bandwagon. I didn't like how Hodge called Chris Bay a piece of crap. No one does that on my watch. I didn't like that. Ace and Bay are the money makers of that company. So again, you know what I mean? Obviously, they didn't want me as a fan, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, and again, I also go to it as, I think maybe Ace Austin was going out there and giving it 30%, you know what I mean? So, and he got caught. I don't think at the end of the day, he still got gold around his waist. I don't think he could care. It's just a couple of good hands, you know what I mean? So,
pun intended.
Side note. There is absolutely no change in the Good Hands and Bullet Club's positioning from last week to this week. They were 8 and 7 last week, but last week the Good Hands had they had Moose hanging on, and they also had Myers with them. But at the end of the day, there's still Good Hands under the learning tree, so they did not move. And I don't like it.
That is an interesting fact, Lucha. I didn't realize that they're in the exact same spot. And like the only difference this time is the Good Hands didn't have Moose or Brian Myers with them. They're just them by themselves.
Yeah, all the more reason why the Good Hands should have been higher than Bullet Club. I said it again.
Well, what about the argument that, I mean, I guess how Burt always says, they worked smarter, not harder.
At the end of the day, it's all a travesty because neither one of them should be ranked higher than our world champion, Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, that is true. That's the biggest travesty. I'm still not over that. But on a positive note, let's talk about number 2, X Division champion Trey Miguel getting a big victory over Laredo Kid in the opening contest. So happy to see Trey Miguel being at number 2. Incredible match against Laredo Kid, if you ask me. Burt, I'll let you take the floor on this one.
Yeah, I would have had him number 1 just because I thought he had the best match on the show. He beat Laredo Kid, who's great in his own right. And then he cut a promo, which was pretty good after, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it was great, but again, I just think that Annie's a champion, so I just think those 3 factors I would have higher, but I'm fine he's number 2 after weeks of not really getting any respect. He talked about that as well. So, yeah, again, I'm not trying to complain. He is number 2, but he's my own crown number one, but I'm still happy.
You know, it's interesting that Trey, like you brought it up, that Trey did talk about respect and not getting respect.
Uh-huh.
That was very interesting because he was getting disrespected on the power rankings. So it's very interesting he talked about that. He must watch. And, you know, that's probably why he brought up that respect promo. Lucha, what are your thoughts?
It's almost on some too little too late for me, though. Like, I mean, this man's been getting drugged through the mud of the power rankings for like weeks now. And just because he, you know, went and basically like, you know, confronted everybody and was like, hey, yo, I need more respect on my name. Like, I'm out here doing this. Then everyone's like, okay, here you go. So it's kind of like, you know what? I don't even think he wants this respect. He don't need it, you know, because, you know, if he's got to beg for this respect from you know, this certain demographic, it's like, you know what? I don't need your respect. Y'all can keep it because I'm going to keep the belt because that's what I got. And that's why y'all think I should be higher than I end up being. But, you know, that don't even matter because I got the strap. So I think that's the time Trey Miguel is on. If I was in his spot, I would be on the same time. But he did have to remind the committee just who the hell he was with this win over Laredo, though. So it's cool for him to be here. Considering who's in front of him, I could make an argument maybe of him being higher. It's crazy saying that of someone at number 2, but it's cool.
I agree. All right. This is going to be interesting. Number 9, number 6, and number 3. So Jonathan Gresham at number 9, Yuya Uemura at number 6, and number 3 at the Motor City Machine Guns. So these 3 numbers intertwine in the sense that Alex Shelley was a part of the main event. He teamed with Jonathan Gresham and Yuya Uemura to defeat Eddie Edwards, Moose, and Frankie Kazarian. So why do you think the Motor City Machine Guns got ranked in number 3, Yuya at number 6, and Jonathan Gresham at number 9 when they were all part of the same team? And not to mention Chris Sabin cutting a promo to Trey Miguel. An excellent promo, if you ask me. So, Lucha, do you want to take the floor on this one first?
It's exactly what you said. It was the combination of Shelley getting the win for their team in the trios match, and Chris Sabin. You want to talk about reminding people who he is. You know, people want to talk about how it's unfair that the Machine Guns have been running roughshod over the power rankings because of how they did it. But it's like at the end of the day, bro, he's a 9-time X Division champion. God damn it. So he had to let y'all know what the deal was. So for that, I'm fine with him being at number 3 because that's where they should be, and the greatest competitors in power rankings history. I'm gonna say it.
So, how do you feel about Yuya being ahead of Jonathan Gresham?
He kind of showed out a little bit in that match, you know, considering he was in the field with giants, and it's like, oh, it's his baby Yuya, you know, he never been in this spot before, you know, maybe not necessarily in Impact, but at least John Gresham's been in this spot before, you know, as a world champ or with world champ competition, and Yuya's the baby, and baby showed up and showed out, so I think that gave them a little extra boost, getting him at number 6 ahead of John Gresham.
And you, Burt?
Yeah, I just have something to say about the Machine Guns. I think that a couple weeks ago when they didn't break up, but they said, when Chris Sabin said they will always be the Motor City Machine Guns, but they're going to go see what else they can do, that was a subliminal message basically saying we're standing together purely for the loophole so we can stack points in the power rankings. Because since they didn't break up, people are going to continue to vote for them as a duo whenever... You know what I mean? So, yeah, they're gonna get. It's gonna be very hard for them to. It's gonna be very hard for other people to overtake them, just especially if they both get votes every week. Because as a tag team, they would only get votes once, but now they're still a tag team, but they're getting 2 sets of votes. So there you go.
And what about Yuya outranking Jonathan Gresham?
I'm completely fine with it. Yeah, he had the better performance, so. You have to break the tie. You have to put someone ahead of someone. You know what I mean? We're not putting them as a team. You know what I mean?
You know, I have to say, like, Yuya's a star in the making. I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on Yuya, but the first time I ever saw Yuya, I don't know about you guys, was actually during Ric Flair's last match when he fought Ren Narita. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually a really good match. I was impressed with Yuya from like the get-go since the first time I saw him in that match. So when he came to Impact, I was really happy. But I was kind of disappointed at the beginning because we weren't seeing enough of Yuya, and now that we are seeing it, like you said, he delivered. He was phenomenal in that match, and I hope we continue to see more of Yuya in Impact. Alrighty, so let's talk about number 5, the Coven, who they weren't defending their tag titles, but Kylie King had a singles match against Trinity. She took the loss here. So why do you think they're at number? Not only are they at number 5, but they're also ahead of the Bullet Club. Why do you guys think that is? Lucha, do you want to take the floor, or Burt, do you want to take the floor first?
I'll go ahead and knock it out real quick. It's simple. The Coven have kind of been slightly more hotter than Bullet Club. I mean, it's not a wrong statement. It's just a statement that once you hear, or in my case, have to say, you kind of have to check yourself. But it's kind of fat. Like, remember last week they were number 3 on the power rankings after getting the win from the team of then number 2 and number 4, Jordan Grace and Deonna Purrazzo, irrespectively. You got to flap them around. And then, like you said, Kylie King lost. So they had if anything, they took a dip. So this is just kind of sort of the beginning of the downfall of the Coven in the power rankings, if all they're going to do is take L's.
The Coven being this high is a product of who they're getting to work with, because, you know, usually the tag team, no matter like how you look at it, it's kind of always under the main event and mid-card scene. But the tag team champions happen to be working with the main eventers right now. So even though they lost, it's also a result of getting over in a loss. You know what I mean? It happens in wrestling time and time again. You know what I mean? You don't have to win a match to get over with the fans. You know what I mean?
That's true. Look at Zelina Vega. She lost to Rhea Ripley. She got a standing ovation in Puerto Rico.
If you've seen Gladiator, you know what I mean? You got to be you want the fans to be entertained. Okay? That's why you're there. You got to entertain the fans, okay?
Yeah, I agree. You definitely do. At number 4, coming in at number 4, Burt's alleged cousin, Steve Macklin, who got Champagne Singh and Shera to attack PCO. And he broke a cinder block on PCO's back. He's at number 4. Why do you think that is?
I'm actually not upset with it, because the only person I would put ahead of him ahead of, is the Machine Guns, because I do think our number 1 and number 2 have a stronger case to be number 1 and number 2 this week. So again, I would feel more upset if Steve Macklin was, you know, right, but if he was by Deonna or even lower, you know what I'm saying, just because both of them should be top 5 every week, if not even top 3, depending on, you know, sometimes the cards don't fall that way. But yeah, him at number 4, I don't think is that bad, especially this week. Yes, you could put him over the Machine Guns, but Alex Shelley did get a pin in the main event, and the Machine Guns are the Machine Guns, and they are over.
Lucha, what are your thoughts on Macklin being number 4? Bert's alleged family member.
I kind of don't like it, TBH, because he was number 1 last week. So basically what you do is you know, hashtag defend this house with that attack on PCO, trying to get him out the game. He didn't come out looking weak in any way in that one, you know, so how should he be punished? He was number 1 last week, like I said. So, like, if anything, he should stay number 1. Or if anything, I would argue to put Trey Miguel over Steve Macklin. If anyone is honestly worthy, if anyone is worthy of being over Steve Macklin, I would say it would have been Trey Miguel. So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Well, Trey is ahead of him, so So maybe
Yeah, but also so does Motor City Machine Gun.
Sorry, would you switch Machine Guns and him?
I would switch Machine Guns with him if that also means that we shuffle that number 1 around.
Okay. So yeah, I think we should keep. We'll add to this when we talk about the number 1 as well. So let's keep his name. We'll look at the whole top 4 when we're done.
So did you just say his name?
Get out! No. He tried to come in. I shut that shit down.
Sadly, I think Impact's kind of fumbled him a little bit lately. So no, I wasn't referring to him.
He didn't even make the power rankings, Joe Henry.
You know, I kind of don't like the disrespect to Joe Hendry. Stay out. It's not.
You said his name.
I don't care. It's not every time. I didn't hit the music, Anyway, I don't like the disrespect because, my man only solved an assault crime. I can't say murder mystery. It was an assault mystery.
That's true.
A battery mystery? I don't know. He solved the crime, okay? You're doing the good Lord's work, as the digital media champion. Yet my man didn't even almost sniff the top 10.
I think, and it's not necessarily his fault. I think he's a victim of him being too funny in these comedy segments, and at times they could just be like, go do those. And at the end of the day, people want to watch good wrestling. Comedy's fine, but I don't think he wrestles enough, especially not lately, to be on the top 10. And even when he does wrestle, I don't think he's had one meaningful feud. Even if you count Moose, which was good, I don't think he's had a big-time feud with that belt. And I also would say, I think if you look at all the champions before him, I think it was Jordan, and then Cardona, and then Myers. I think they all had more meaningful reigns than him with that belt. I think it's the lowest belt in the company, I would say. Would you put it?
That's how fine and dandy, but my man solved the crime.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm
going to deny a crime fighter? You're going to deny a crime fighter.
You're right, and that should count for more because he solved the mystery. You're right.
He solved crime.
It's true. People can sleep easy at night now, knowing that.
But then I'm even gonna play into what you were saying a little bit though. Like, look at how many times in the past people have been awarded like top spots just for talking. Like, at least my man's doing more than talking. He's out fighting crime. So that's gotta mean a little more than just like, people who come out and just talk. Like, how high did Nick Aldis get off of talking? You know what I'm saying? How high was Trinity a couple weeks ago off of talking? Like, remember, Trinity was ranked higher when she talked and wasn't physical versus when she was physical.
But it's almost like, too, though, that, like, instead of solving a crime where it involves going and stopping a bank robber hand-to-hand combat, he's more like solving, like, IRS crimes, like people not paying their taxes. They're kind of like boring crimes, you know what I mean? Like account fraud. You know what I mean?
They're crimes that will make him go viral for solving. And as your digital media champion, what more
That's
can
true.
you ask for?
Didn't Eddie Edwards get rewarded for running over PCO?
But I think that's more of a TMZ story, and those kind of salacious stories, RIP to Jerry Springer, we saw how that kind of stuff sells. That was more like a Jerry Springer story. You know what I mean?
We
like
can award criminals, but not award criminal stoppers?
Can you picture that Maury episode? I was ran over by a car. Like, that's a Maury episode. You know what I mean? Like, let's bring out the man who did it.
I got ran over by Eddie Edwards. Yeah,
exactly. Eddie Edwards ran over me. You know what I mean? That's an episode.
Bloody hell.
Oh wow. Well, I am very curious to see what Joe Henry does when he comes back from his broken nose. I know right now he's
solve another crime.
Solve another crime, yeah. But I in a way I kind of do agree with Burt. I mean, Joe Henry's one of the only meaningful feuds that he's had was against Brian Myers. But I can't understand where Burt is coming from on that. But I love Joe Henry, and I will say his name because I believe in 252 pounds of pure motivation.
Go to her house. She said it this time. Damn.
He's still in your house.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Okay, so before we get into our number one ranker, let's talk about the almost made it. Who almost made this week's power rankings? Burt?
We had Kazarian, who missed it by 7 points, and then right behind him is Jody Threat, and tied with is Laredo Kid. So I wouldn't say the rankings were a little bit. The bottom wasn't as strong as the top this week. So, but they did just make it, but it was a little bit more than you would normally see.
So with Frankie Kazarian, I just feel like he got grouped. He didn't make it because he was on the losing team at no fault of his own. It was no fault of his own. So I feel like had he been on the opposite team, he probably would have made it. And it would have been interesting to see where he would have ranked had he been on the opposite team. But, unfortunately, Frankie Kazarian just missing it by that much is no fault of his own. As for Laredo Kid, great opening contest with Trey Miguel. It's good to see him back. I hope we see more of Laredo Kid.
Who actually went down this week? She was on the rankings last week, I believe.
She was.
Because she fought Alicia Edwards, didn't she?
No, she fought another enhancement talent this week.
It was Sierra. She fought Sierra this week.
And I feel like that's probably why she fell off the rankings, because she's fighting another enhancement talent. Steve Macklin and Masha Slamovich all did that. They all fought enhancement talents. But look at the way that, when you compare the way that they did it versus how Jody Threat is doing it, I feel like with Jody Threat, she's doing it as a face more so as a heel. Macklin and Slamovich fought enhancement talent, but they did it as heels, which I feel made much more of an impact. Would you agree or disagree with me on that?
I can see that, yeah. I would consider, yeah. Impact doesn't have a clear-cut idea what they want to do with her yet. The Knockouts division is pretty stacked right now, so, not everybody can be over at one time.
That's true.
I need real quick, though, because he's way down there, Eddie Edwards to start having more matches. If not, obviously I'd like him on the countdown, but I just need to hear his theme song once a week, because his theme song is arguably one of the best in the company, you know what I mean? It's got that, late 90s, 2000s, new rock sound. I need Eddie Edwards on the countdown more. He's got one of the best songs, you know what I mean?
Eddie Edwards is 2 for 2 for theme songs.
What?
He's 2 for 2 for theme songs.
A theme song is half the battle when you're a wrestler. You know what I mean? So it's like New Jack coming out to New Jack's song back in the day.
Natural Born Killers, yes.
The Wolfpack. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have a banging song, you know what I mean? That's half the battle.
Well, Eddie Edwards didn't make the power rankings at his own expense. I mean, he wanted to lead the team to victory, but
I think his team let him down. I'm not blaming Eddie.
Eddie was too determined to get on the power rankings that he lost sight of what was in front of him, and that was the win that he needed to make sure that his team got. He wanted the solo glory on the power rankings. He wanted to be where Alex Shelley is, towards the top, because he got that all important dub. He let his ego get in the way. So that was kind of, and that's my homie. Me and Eddie is like this, son.
Okay. You talk to him then, because he could have just done what Alex Shelley did, let the other guys do all the work and then go in there and steal the pin. You know what I mean? That's what he should have done.
I can't talk to that man no more. He's doing what he's doing. He's making his own man decisions. As a homie, all I can do is just sit back and support and pray that he doesn't, corrupt himself within whatever he does.
Okay. I like that.
At number 1, Trinity, who, pun intended, made an impact. I mean, she made a freaking statement defeating Kylie King. That was an incredible match. I mean, she delivered. She freaking delivered. And we also found out who she will be facing at Under Siege, Giselle Shaw. So I'm very curious to see where Trinity's gonna land after her match with Giselle Shaw. But dang, that was an incredible match. Lucha, do you want to take the floor on this one?
I mean, it was everything you said was right. You know, you're not wrong in anything you said. She got the dub. It was a real good match. Impressed the hell out of me a bit. They kind of let them go a bit as far as Trinity and Kylan King. So I didn't have a problem. I do have a problem with her being number one, considering this is her first match in Impact. You know, like look at the ringer that Nick Aldis kind of sort of had to go through to get in the power rankings. Once he debuted, you know, he stopped doing promos and finally got in the daggone ring. And then even that didn't get him as high as Trinity got. Trinity, her early domination of the power rankings is concerning, but I'm not gonna hate on it because, you know, why should I? It's just, you want to talk about Trey Miguel getting disrespected. I think this is another chapter because it's like Power Ranking said, you know what, here, Trey, we'll give you a high ranking, but we'll put someone who's one match in right above you at number one. So he's still getting the middle finger at the end of the day.
The only reason that I can say that, because again, she won her match, but it wasn't a main event. She wasn't, and she's not a champion. But I just think that the newness factor of Trinity and it being I think it was the second best match on the show, just right below Trey's, not like far below. I think it was neck and neck. So I think that's why I think her popularity, you know, I don't have a problem with her to be number one just because I have more maybe just rearranging the people under her, but I can't think of a big reason to take her out of the number one spot. Again, I would just change my top three and I would just have Macklin over the Machine Guns. But if you wanted to put Trey 1 and her 2 or 3, again, I think that's fine. You know what I mean? But I think the top 3, you know, the top 4 are fine with exception. Again, so I guess the top 3, I just don't see the Machine Guns being maybe top 5, but not top 3.
All this is fine and dandy and all, but it shouldn't distract us from the fact that the Virtuosa was number 10.
Well, yeah, I can't explain that. I'm going to have to go back and crunch the data. You know what I mean?
I demand a recount.
A repeat. I demand a repeat. Damn it, we're going to redo this.
I'll just say I'd rather just move on, look forward, and I'll ask the committee. Maybe reconsider next week. Just maybe rethink how you vote.
And next week is going to be really interesting because next week will be the fallout from Under Siege.
It's true.
It's the go home and Under Siege, yeah. So,
and you guys know with pay-per-view shows, the power rankings are always weird.
Yeah, that added pressure where TV and the pay-per-view both come into consideration. So even if you went on the go home before the show, before the pay-per-view or whatever it may be, that doesn't guarantee you place on the power rankings because you still have that Under Siege thing to deal with. So if you're going to get a win on Impact, it's got to be like a big statement win, something that you can carry in and then execute momentum style with on Under Siege, so you can get in this power rankings. Because I can't even do the match with the biggest power ranking implications next week because we got TV and the pay-per-view. So it's gonna get good.
It definitely is because, like you said, you got to win at Impact and you got to win at Under Siege too. You know, so you could win at one or lose at the other. Who knows? But I think it's going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. All right. So, do we have any questions? Anybody want to ask before we get ready to sign off?
How the hell did Deonna Purrazzo end up at number 10?
I think that's the biggest question I want to know. How the hell? What were you guys smoking? Okay, like, were you guys watching this episode with the blindfold on or something?
They're smoking too much ivory. You see how high? You know what I'm saying? They're smoking too much of that ivory, dude.
I can't smoke enough to make me not be okay with this.
You guys need to go outside, catch some sun, and then come back inside and redo the power rankings because Deanna, even when Deanna wasn't knockout champion and she made the power rankings, she was never number 10.
I just have a good feeling that the committee will get it right next week.
Or else. Don't make me take off my chancla. Lucha. Lucha. You good back there, Lucha?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay out the strike zone.
You know the chancla is like a boomerang, right? It doesn't miss.
I just don't want to be the one who catches a stray.
Good point.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, I guess that would wrap it up for today's episode. As always, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. You have no idea how much it means that you guys continue to watch our show and continue to listen to us. So make sure you hit that like button and you hit the bell so you get notified whenever this video drops and whenever TNAIW uploads any new content, such as, Lucha, do you want to talk about the new content TNAIW is uploading?
Such as TNA 2K Wednesdays, where we are in the midst of the 2023 Ryder Cup. Let me pull up our trusty dusty bracket to let you guys know the updated situation we got situating here. The matches that we have for this coming Wednesday are Josh Alexander versus Jeff Jarrett. That is a 1 versus 4 seed. We have Samoa Joe, the guy who won the AEW play-in tournament, taking on number 3 seed Bobby Roode. That's over on the Owl group A. Over in Group B, we have Jeff Hardy versus Kurt Angle going down, and then Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles. And that is our Elite 8, if you will. And let me tell y'all this. I ran those matches before we came on. When y'all find out who this Final Four is, it's going to be crazy.
Those are big names.
Yeah, they are big names.
Burt, you still sticking with your Jeff Jarrett prediction?
I am.
You're gonna have to tune in and find out if you're still sitting pretty. Datila, who you riding with?
AJ Styles.
You gotta, like I said, you gotta tune in, see what happens. It's some damn good. It's some damn good competition.
Yeah, it sounds like it for sure. All right. Well, with that being said, you guys, you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you guys.
Wait. We get to say it. Remember, there's no TNAIW reaction this week because there's Under Siege, and since there's Under Siege, Sundays 8:00 is the return of the show, the main show, the big show.
Where is the big show?
I missed
the
that.
Big bad show tonight. Sunday night.
Oh. Yeah, watch Sunday Night Heat, 8:00 8 p.m. Eastern time on TNAIW's Twitch stream, twitch.tv/TNAIW channel. Go holler at the homie Jeff, blow up the chat, do what you do.
5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain.
Hold on. I got you. And in Krakow, that's gonna be at 2 hours from now. 2:05 in the morning, baby. Yeah.
And there's a lot of fans out there, so that's of course why we're mentioning them.
Shouts out.
It's a big market.
Alrighty then, you guys. Well, we hope have a great rest of your evening. A full wrestling pay-per-view weekend. Burt, have fun in Las Vegas. And
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.